We're breaking down anything and everything Utica City FC related. This is the Keeper's Corner podcast with your hosts, Matt Sterling and Brandon Brooks. Let's get into it.
Hello, welcome to another edition of the Keeper's Corner podcast. Matt and Brandon back.
Bit of a mixed bag weekend, I would say.
Yeah, that's a pretty fair assumption. Some highs, some lows, some
Heidi Hose.
in between, some drama.
Isn't there always, even though it's not the game that you would think that the drama was in, there's always drama. It's the MASL. It just happens. Why are you muted?
I don't know. You can hear me, so you must have.
Apparently nobody can hear
audio at all.
I fixed it.
Like neither of you.
I fixed it. Relax. Start over.
From the top, then.
Sorry. I'm sorry. I will get it eventually, okay?
Hello, welcome to another edition of the Keeper Corner podcast. He's Brandon. I'm Matt. Eventually, we'll figure this out. But until then, we're going to keep screwing up at the beginning, apparently.
I'll see myself out. Listen, the audio wasn't doubled up this time. We just happened to be muted when we started. What do you expect from me? It's only the third one?
This is like our fifth live.
Oh. No. Third one I've done.
Yeah, okay.
Third one I've done. So.
Third one you've done.
I do not do this for a living. You shush.
I could be loud. I can make myself louder. Let me turn up my gain.
Yeah, because I think I've got you turned up pretty much as far as I can take you.
That should be better. My gain's up pretty high now. I'm also kind of quiet tonight. I yelled a bit yesterday. My voice is
yeah, I wonder why.
Better, but not. I didn't even get to be out there for the whole game. There's a nice 35 top in the middle of it that took an hour to actually get in.
Oh, that's the fun part of kind of working while you try and watch the game.
Unfortunately, you missed the game. In person, at least.
Yeah, in person. I can tell you right now that me and Gleo in the chat here, we're definitely watching the stream as we typically do for away games. But it was a heck of a game.
I would say Kate brought a friend and sold another fan on Utica Soccer, so she will be returning this weekend as well.
It's not hard.
It's
not hard to sell them on it.
I'm being tortured the day before, though, so peanut gallery may or may not be.
Yes. Team Purple. Sorry. I was screaming for Team Purple.
Team Purple?
Yeah, the balloons, the balloon relay thing into the goal. You might not. Yeah.
And then it was probably on the game that did the broadcast, but I skip along anything that is.
No, it was the Milwaukee game.
Yeah, I know, but like I watched the game again today, and anything that's in between not the quarters. Game, I skip. Yeah,
fair. I watched it, Huber, and we cheered you on. Okay,
well, you had to. It was live.
Don't give me crap.
But that's yesterday's game, and unfortunately, we have a game to talk about before that.
And I have excuses.
That's Saturday's game. Look, we're going to talk a lot about this one probably.
Yeah.
Because it was ugly, sloppy, uninspiring at times.
Yeah.
And it was a blowout at Baltimore.
Yep.
Now, they did do as we guessed. And... rested a few players, kept them home. Gordy didn't make the trip. Andrew was listed as out and gave all of us a reason to worry going into Sunday.
Yep. Very much.
Plus, they're down Keaton, and obviously Nate has still been out the entire season. So,
yeah, I mean, that's obviously not changing anytime soon.
Yep. And yeah, it ended with a 13-6 scoreline, which I would say is uglier than the game was, but not by a whole lot.
Nah, it unfortunately for Utica, this was definitely not the game that you want to see. Unfortunately, it did very much dashed our hopes of not only potentially sweeping Harrisburg, but potentially sweeping Baltimore this season. That dream is dead and buried. And it was hard to watch, but I watched it all the way through.
You're a better man than me because I had to work. So on the replay, after I watched the first half through, and I was like, I've seen enough. I just kind of kept hitting that 30-second skip until things happened. Blue card, let's see what happened. Goal, let's see what went wrong.
There were so many times that I really, really did want to skip through, or, not skip, but really just wanted to turn it off. And I'm like, no, I'm not going to turn it off. I am going to watch this till the end. I mean, don't get me wrong. There was some cool moments. They just weren't our cool moments.
Yeah.
So
let's talk about a stat that tells the story in this one.
Ooh, I have two.
Okay.
Can I go?
Sure. I want to see what ones you take because I think there are like three.
Like Zierhofer hat trick.
Okay. That, yeah.
That's one of the stats that tells the story. You know what the other one was that I had?
Sure.
Pentagol.
Diegues. 5.
Without Diegues in this game, let's just put it this way.
Yeah.
Without Diegues in this game, or if we had better accounted for Diegues in this game, you could pretty much eliminate Zierhofer's goals.
Yep.
And you would eliminate 5 goals from him. What's the score?
6-5.
6-5. Just Diegues was the big unknown for this game, and ouch. And then, of course, like I said, without his 5 goals, we wouldn't have been down
10-4.
We wouldn't have been down at all, and therefore the 3 goals from Zierhofer potentially wouldn't have happened because we wouldn't have had 6th attacker out. So take out those 2 things, completely different ball game. Not to say that the guys played up to the caliber we would have expected. So, I mean, it still could have ended up being a loss, but just on paper, taking those 2 factors out, completely different game.
Oh, yeah. But unfortunately, you can't take factors out in the post game. No,
but stats that tell the story, those 2 people tell the story of this game.
Yes. Diegues definitely adds the offensive firepower, like the big goal scorer that Baltimore has been missing. He fills that role that Roque had last year, or Mello would have had this year if he was visa cleared. Zierhofer's 3. Look, it's the first time in MASL history any goalkeepers had a hat trick.
Yes, and congratulations. Like, it sucks that it was against us, but it could have happened to any team on that field.
And that's the asterisk on that field.
It has to be said. It does. It has to be said.
I was talking about the game with my brother earlier today, and I was like, yeah, goalkeeper had a hat trick. He goes, it's crazy. I'm like, yeah, it's Baltimore, so, smaller field. And then just for comparison, because Yankees fan have to hear about short porch in right field at 314 all the time. Yep. Average right field length in Major League Baseball is 328 feet. That 14-foot difference is about a 4% difference.
Yeah.
In MASL, that would be an 8-foot difference. The 50-foot difference in field size between a full field and Baltimore, and now, to be fair, Utica, not a full field.
No,
we
it's
have
not.
That 5-foot loss for the net.
Yes.
That 50-foot or 25% length would, in a baseball, Yankee Stadium, knock it down to 246 feet or a Little League field. So when, they're like, yeah, they play on a kiddie field, like they're not wrong. The critics aren't wrong. It's still an awesome feat. It's terrible that it happened and we had to watch it happen to us. But there is a huge asterisk.
Yeah.
Probably bigger than Baltimore's field on this.
And he just continues to dig. Hit them with the digs. In all seriousness, no, again, it could have happened with any keeper on that field. Like if it was a different game, I'm pretty sure. I want to say Coughlin scored there.
Coughlin has scored there, absolutely.
So it's Vanzella scored there, obviously, but it sucks it happened to us, but it is still cool that it happened.
Yes.
All the props to Zierhofer. I am not taking anything away from what he was able to do on that field.
Yeah.
It's 3 goals. It's 3 goals, Huber.
3 goals.
It's 3 goals. It's a hat trick. You can't take that away from him. I'm not trying to, nor am I going to.
Mm-hmm. I guess my stat that I'll take then is the first quarter goal deficit.
It's
3-0. You got shut out for a quarter of this game. You
he said it, not us.
Mm-hmm. Yep. You could read the chat for that one.
Yeah, and if you're listening to this on the actual podcast, well, you should have been here.
Yeah. But that 3-goal deficit, you dug yourself a hole. Baltimore, we won there earlier in the year. They lost their first 2 home games to Mesquite or to Texas and Utica, and then since then they've been perfect at home. Yeah, like we've said in years past, they're a different team on the Towson University field, and it plays to their advantage. It wouldn't shock me if they ran the table at home the rest of the year, ended up 10-2, and that's how they sneak in the playoffs while Kansas City continues to fumble the bag. But yeah.
Kansas City's at least bounced back a little bit. So they could be on the mend.
A little.
But
we'll see. Just like a lot of teams, they were missing players this past week.
Yep.
But first game since Everton was gone for 2 weeks. Frank and Nilton were gone for 2 weeks. They both had 2 goals in this game. There were some tensions, some discord amongst the team itself.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if it got caught on camera because I, skipped along.
Yeah, of course.
But not pretty. The defense changed up. If you watch, typically they run a 2-1-2 zone.
Yep.
And in the first quarter, they came out in a 1-2-2, and it just got shredded.
Yeah, it did. It did. It's like we kind of, obviously we had a different roster.
Mm-hmm.
Not like extremely different, but definitely different than what we've ran for multiple games now. And of course, with any change comes adjustment. So It seems like not only were we, playing people we don't normally play. We got to see Rafa out there. We got to see Timmy back on the field.
You forgot to mention we left Hundell at home for that one.
Yes, because Santana had the armband on, which a lot of people were like, "Why does he have the armband on?" Not something not something I would have ever expected to see.
Yeah,
not that I have a problem with it at all. We've grown to really like Nelly. If he goes anywhere else, we're still going to heckle the crap out of you. I'm putting it on the record, but we'll still buy a drink after the game. That's my promise to you.
Good thing you weren't there last night then, because the entire Milwaukee team came in. You would have been buying a lot of drinks.
That's fine. Well, all right. I've only said that to a few people. Like Willie B, I would definitely have bought a drink 1,000%. Quick story time. We went, Michelle and I went out to go see a Rock City Boom game. not this past summer. I think it was the summer before. And, he was technically a goalkeeper for them, but he wasn't actually playing.
Right.
And we went out there because him and Jake were on the team. Neither one of them played, but we still got to chit chat with Willie B after the game. And, just a super sweet human being. Like, I would love to actually be able to sit down and chit chat with him someday. But either way, that's story time over.
If I remember his in the box interview, he has a thing for donuts. So, maybe just get something from Glazed and Confused in Syracuse or Duck Donuts out in or Albany area, Latham.
Yeah, we'll bring us something good.
Probably in the playoffs since it looks like we're going to see them.
Yeah, more than likely, I would say.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty good chance of that.
That's to tell a story. Play that changed the game. The plays that changed the game for me were made before the game started. And that was picking who stayed at home. Prioritizing the game against Milwaukee obviously changed how things went in Baltimore.
Yes.
If you have Coughlin, if you have Hundelt, if you have, obviously he's home dealing with his impending child, Taylor Walter Bond.
Yep.
If you start in a 2-1-2 instead of a 1-2-2.
I mean, do they all have to share 1-2-2?
Yeah. But
for those listening, he stuck his tongue out at me.
Deservedly so. But yeah, the plays were made, yes, on the field, Baltimore dominated. But the plays that changed it were not plays. They were personnel decisions.
Yeah.
And prioritizing a home game against, Gordy, according to Huber, was only fit to play one game. Coach picked Milwaukee.
Yeah, and that's
fair.
The one I would have prioritized.
It was nice to see Gordy out there. He looked a little bit like some of his quickness was coming back that he's been missing after the hamstring. So
yeah, it was good. It was good to see him back on the field for that one. Mm-hmm. But unfortunately, we still can't talk about that one yet.
Mm-hmm. What's your play?
There isn't one. Like you said, the tone was set from the very beginning. I mean, I would just basically, if I had to pick a single play, I mean, actually, no, I'm sorry. There isn't one. There isn't a single play. It was basically just, going down with the ship, slowly but surely, a little bit of a bob up here and there, but mostly just sinking. The game was definitely not necessarily decided before it started. Because I mean, any guys can come in and perform better than we've seen them play. Mm-hmm. But in this scenario, we kind of knew what we were getting. Yeah. We kind of had a sneaking suspicion that, this game, they might not be playing at their best, or they might not be playing at 100% to save for the next day, which, not only did they look sluggish, which in my mind, I kind of think that might have been a little bit on purpose because they were saving energy for the bigger game. Not that we should be picking and choosing games, but I understand it. I just, like you said, there really wasn't a singular play that decided this game. It was it was going down.
Unfortunately.
We still almost had the Frank hat trick, though. Mm-hmm. It was close. It was off by one. Someday.
Takeaways from this one.
Don't run a 1-2-2 against Baltimore. And pay more attention to Diegues because he's dangerous. we already knew that, and we should have known that going in. Plain and simple. We just, he needs to be marked. Hey, I know a great defender. Big guy, tall guy, Mohawk. He could defend. He could defend Diegues. I think he'd do all right. Bring him back.
Yeah, don't know what happened there. Don't know the story.
It shed a little bit of light on it, but it was during the Empire San Diego game, but not much. Mm-hmm. And I haven't pried with the people that I talked to, so
yeah, I didn't feel.
And I'm not going to, because it's not my place.
Nope. Yeah, we'll just probably see that player listed with Otto Jahic at some point in the near future.
As long as it's not Baltimore.
Yeah. Yeah. Please not Baltimore.
Hashtag bring Steph back. Yes.
So much for keeping. No. Anthony Wright was suspended. R5, first off the bench. Looks like Jahic has been unsuspended from his indefinite suspension, but nothing about Steph. So, anyway,
I'll get him that first bottle of Crown. Just, I'll get it. I'll go get it right now.
Yeah, takeaways. Like you said, just mark Diegues better. For me, it shows the importance of Everton to this roster.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I am sure his absence was felt over the past 2 weeks. And boy, if that doesn't worry you a little bit come playoff time.
Yeah, it's
where they have the U.S. national futsal team has 3 games in 3 days. And it would line up for like possibly the Eastern Conference Championship or like the second half of the opening round.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's ever since our conversation. Was it last week?
2 weeks ago.
2 weeks ago. I'm losing track of dates here. Yeah, that's been on my mind. Like basically ever since Shea basically said that, there's going to be a big asterisk on this season, no matter what happens, because at some point, coach and players are going to disappear, and that's going to suck. But
yeah.
We don't have to talk about it right now because that's down the road a little. Hopefully,
I mean we can, because on In the Box last week they were not In the Box, Goals and Boards. They talked about it and were like, "Boy, it's pretty convenient that Utica doesn't have any games when their coach isn't there." It's like, yeah, that's called scheduling. If the league cared, maybe they would do an international break, but obviously they don't.
No,
you could just extend the season a couple weeks. Towards when all these other leagues that are using the arenas season ends as well, opening up availability, making it more favorable for the MASL, but nobody wants to go with the obvious solution.
Why would you do that? Because it's, obvious.
Yeah.
And we don't want obvious. We want difficult.
That's the next. It just permeates every major sports league, is a lack of a common sense department.
No. Yeah,
yes.
they aren't gonna. Nobody's gonna have that department. Nobody.
Nope, not at all. But we can turn on to Sunday's game, which was better.
Better. I also think this game has a big asterisk on it.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, 2 technically.
Mm-hmm.
because, a lot of people are very torn about the final goal.
Mhm.
And likewise, it's another game that I think could have gone differently with certain players on the field.
Mhm.
Specifically, I think it could have potentially been a very different game with Carvalho and Huffman. At a minimum.
Raymond.
That's why I said at a minimum.
Yeah.
Because Huffman had his basically just had reign of the field when we were in their arena the last time. So it's a win, and I will take a win. But I think it could have been a lot better. There was some miscommunications. There was a good bit of just not being in sync with each other.
Mm-hmm.
I felt all over the field. It was an amazing game to watch. But when you started maybe not nitpicking, but looking into the finer details of it, it was a messy game that could have gone very poorly for us, unfortunately.
Yes, as Huber points out, we were without Mo. The reasons for that are complicated, and I'm really not at liberty to say why. But
fair point.
Again, and there was also, look, you played a game less than 24 hours later, showered, changed, hit the bus or vans, and drove back 5.5 hours.
Right.
So you're making it home at 3:30, 4 in the morning. Or yeah.
Not to say that Milwaukee hadn't played within the last 48.
No,
because they had played on Friday. Friday against the Ambush.
Right.
But that's still at least a full day.
You're traveling Saturday, but you get a day of moderate rest.
Yes. So, I don't know. This one, I mean, it was a nail biter the whole time for sure, but it was very much just I was worried that whole game just because of just what I was seeing, and I was concerned.
Do you have a stat that tells the story?
Andrew Coughlin. That's who. He is the stat. 82%. Comes back with a vengeance.
Mm-hmm.
Literally. Now, I will preface this by saying, by no means did he do all of the work defensively.
Right.
The defense, at least the first half, I would say, the defense was on point. I mean, there was so many shots just not getting to Coughlin that were on goal, but were just not getting to him because they were getting disrupted. Hundell, Nelly, just everyone was getting involved in the defensive half of just blocking shots. Like, hats off to the defense on this one. They really kind of carried. Juan was a big one. Like, defense was fantastic. At least I felt, at least for the first half. The second half, I kind of felt like they took the foot off the gas, both offensively and defensively. But Coughlin kept the foot on the gas, I felt. And I mean, his stat shows how active he was and how much he did to keep this team at 5 goals, or keep Milwaukee at 5. So glad to see him back. I was honestly, we had talked last week. This was like my worst case scenario for him coming back. I either wanted to see him play Friday and then potentially Saturday into Sunday. I will get that right eventually. Listen, it's a long weekend too, so I'm really confused on what day it is half the time today. I keep thinking that it's Sunday, even though it's Monday, because
this is my Saturday. So
yeah, I had the holiday today, so I'm even more off. But yeah, it's just I could have seen them playing him Saturday, and then depending on how he felt, how he did, play him on Sunday. I'll play him on Sunday as well, or play him on Saturday and potentially play Wilkin on Sunday. I did not see them playing Wilkin on Friday and Coughlin on Saturday.
Brandon, what days were the games?
Saturday and Sunday. I'm gonna
what if you just say at Baltimore and versus Milwaukee?
Would that Baltimore, be Milwaukee. Yeah, let's just go with that. Well, hopefully it's gonna be one of the last times I say it. So, he's just gonna laugh at me now. It's over.
This is as bad as me just calling, we're playing the Blast and it's the Heat. We're playing the Heat and it's the Blast. Just, they're an hour apart. They're the same team, basically.
Boy, that's oof. That's a burn. But I just did not see them bringing him in completely fresh on Sunday against Milwaukee. But they did, and he performed in stellar fashion. So I will go, eat my foot, I guess. Insert foot in mouth. And no, he did fantastic, and I'm so glad that he came back for that game.
Read the chat.
Oh, I am. No, it's going to be on Sogs Day. I'm making my own day now.
My stat is that 3-goal halftime lead. Coming in, you're going to have tired legs, especially in the second half.
Yep.
You have to go out and build a lead in case what happened.
Yep.
And you froze up on me for a second there.
I did?
Yeah. Just a second.
Just Sam. Seeing everything good?
Mm.
Yeah. Yeah.
That or you were just quiet and didn't move for so long that it looked like you froze.
I may have actually been quiet because I was sitting completely still, looking at the stat, looking at the goal line. So
you had to build some kind of lead just in case what happens. Kudos for fighting to the end. We will talk about that goal. We'll talk about a lot of things in this game because, boy, things almost got out of hand there in the first quarter. And you won't hear me say it often, but kudos to the officiating for getting things back under control.
Yeah, it was a rough weekend in the MASL, honestly. I mean, this game, the Empire game was, that was fun. Just tempers flaring as we get closer to, determining those playoff spots.
Mm-hmm. Play that changed the game. I mean, I think, honestly, it's the officials getting everything under control right there at the 10-10 mark in the first quarter. These guys were, about to get to fisticuffs. They were ready to throw down. There was the hip check from behind from Salvador Nunez that started the whole thing. Andrew came out, got in his face. The officials took a minute to pull their blue cards. I think they took a little too long.
Mm-hmm.
But then they just slapped everybody with yellow cards and calmed it back down. You had Nunez and Leite in the box, both with yellow cards. Hundelt got a double yellow. Had to spend 10 minutes in there.
Yep. Although
it's
not reflected on the website, though.
It's not.
No,
but they did announce it as A double yellow.
Yes, it's only listed as a single.
He can keep talking about that all he wants. I have no idea what it means. Huber.
I mean, listen, Team Purple, all right, they had, this guy at the end of the line that was just putting away goals. Like, it was crazy.
Yeah.
But
I don't know. I think it kind of all started with the tripping penalty on Santana that the officials missed. Like I said, I was talking with my brother because he watched the game with me on the rewatch earlier today. And he's like, boy, that official, I think it was Elvis Osmanovic. Like, he's right there. He has a clean view. How did he miss that? Milwaukee shouldn't have had to use their challenge for that.
No, I don't think they should have.
I'm glad Utica didn't have to use their challenge to get the blue that they needed to there in the first. The yellows helped calm things down, and like part of it that helps, I will say, is despite the push from the Utica City administration team and in-game entertainment to sell it as a rivalry game, it's not. It's two good teams that respect each other.
Yes. It is two good teams that, yes, definitely have some, I would say, some mutual respect for the teams as a whole and some of the, a lot of the talent that is on both of those teams.
Yeah, you check Instagram after, or Facebook stories after Utica goes out there. All the guys are out drinking together at the bar. Like I said, 72. Like, the kitchen closed at 7. It was after 9 o'clock when I left, and there were still a couple of guys from both teams in there at that point.
Willie B's so nice.
Yes, Willie B is apparently very nice.
Peanut gallery got to
Wish I could have been there.
Well, don't get sick. It's the best advice.
Not my fault.
He was there.
As for you, what is your play that changed the game?
So I kind of used something similar like this before. I think if you take away Caillou's goal in the third, just take it out of the line, maybe put it earlier on in the game. That's would have been 4 unanswered by Milwaukee. I felt that was really a needed goal, not only to kind of put that buffer back to get us out to 2, but along with that, just breaking up their momentum. It's not like it came like right away or anything like that after a quick answer or something like that. It wasn't anything like that, but it was definitely, again, it was a momentum stopper because Milwaukee they were coming after us hot and heavy. Like, they were really starting to build up steam. You could see it. You could see the energy coming back to that team after the first half when they got those 2, and then if they had gotten 2 more, I mean, yeah, it still might have been 5-5 at the end of it, but I don't know if we would have gotten that 6th goal. Like, I think it could have gone a very different direction. So I got to give it to that one. Like, that one kind of helped to steer the game back in the right direction.
Yeah. Thing that needs to change after this game.
Real quick, I just wanted to address the Hundout goal in the chat. I had to go back and look. I could not remember, but then looking at it again, that was literally when I called it right at that point. I'm like, that is a goal of the week clip right there. That was a amazing goal. Now,
sacrifice your body for the win.
Because there was no intent behind Willie B's actions. You know, he was also diving essentially for the ball, and Hundelt, you know, kind of he got the brunt of it. But because I think it really came down to intent on that one as to why, you know, like Willie B wouldn't have gotten a card there. It was just they were both throwing their bodies at it, at the ball, playing the ball, and he got there first.
It was a 50-50 ball, and bigger man hits smaller man is basically what happened.
And I think what helped Willie B's case was the fact that Hundelt sprang right back up. I mean, he was up by the time the camera got back to him.
Yeah.
So I didn't want to let that one go. Not that there was anything bad about it. I didn't want to let that. We had been addressing the other stuff in the chat. I'm like, I don't want to just let that one scroll by. But I had to remind myself, so I literally pulled it up while we were talking.
I clicked away from the chat for a second to check some stats and stuff.
Yeah, you're good.
Yeah. Do you want to read that one?
Yeah, I got that one. So, Huber basically just told us in 72 after the game, you know, Willie B and most of or pretty much, she said like all of the Milwaukee team pretty much came in after the game. Willie B, I guess, was
Bradley, Willie B, Correa, Breno, like the entire team was pretty much in there.
Basically Willie B was talking to Dylan at their table and basically said, I should have killed you. I mean, listen, I would not want to get hit by either one of them, but I think if I had to choose one, I would rather get hit by Hundelt than Willie B. He is just a solid dude. That's like getting hit by Jake Schindler, I feel like. And that's terrifying. So, but yeah, I think I literally, you know, I'm just going to say it one more time. I just feel like it came down to intent. Momentum was carrying both these guys. They were both playing the ball as hard and fast as they possibly could. And yes, it was a crazy collision, but there was really nothing behind it. And so otherwise, yeah, just, you know, it wasn't like Willie B like punched him in the head or anything like that. It's just momentum carried them into each other. In my eyes. But it looked really bad. It looked really bad.
All right, on to what needs to change or improve moving forward.
Well, again, defense was good for at least the first half. Obviously, it could have been nice if that had carried throughout the rest of the game. Because as I said, more and more as we got into this game, more and more fell onto Coughlin, I felt. I don't know. That's a really tough one. I was to say if you want to take it, go, because I don't have one. But I might think of one.
Once again, we had multiple power plays and failed to convert. Like there's too much offensive talent for that to continue. Yeah. And here we are 2/3 of the way through the season, and it looks as bad as it did at the start of last season.
To offset that, though, we also didn't allow any.
Yes, the defense was better.
You know, that just another feather in the cap of the defense. That yes, we didn't do anything on offense for power plays, but we also didn't let anything through.
Yes.
So
again, a defensive victory.
Yes, which is rare for Utica, but it's getting there. It's getting there.
It's getting there better. Just got to take advantage of the 5-on-4 for us. Even if you just get one of those.
Yeah, stop trying to go for. Don't worry about going for the shorthanded. It's cool, but don't rely on it.
It's a lot more. It's a more comfortable game if you get that first one and you're up 6-3 going into the fourth quarter.
I'm gonna be honest. I really don't have one. I really don't. I you know, again, things felt sluggish, like I said already. But there's not much you can necessarily do to improve that. I mean, conditioning, you can say that all day. Could be is something else going on with some of the guys. But I don't know. I don't really see any one specific thing besides, working on our special teams.
Mm-hmm.
That's about the only real glaring issue from this game. And just, it was a tough weekend. But I mean, we rested when we needed to, and we played hard when we needed to. We could have done a little bit better. Because again, like I said, if Milwaukee had a couple of key players, potentially looking at a different game. But if we had a couple of other key players, could have balanced things out. Don't know. But very, very interesting weekend. I guess that's what I'll just top that off with.
Positive takeaway. Can you find one of those?
Can I find one of those? Yes, the return of Andrew Coughlin. I will just circle back to that. That's an easy one. Now I just hope he stays healthy.
Yes.
Don't re-injure it, especially, don't re-injure yourself getting closer and closer to playoffs. We're going to need that. We're going to need him more and more. And especially with, some of the games we have coming up, really going to need Coughlin at his best. And because otherwise it's going to be a tough road to the playoffs and through the playoffs for that matter.
As for me, as we just talked about, the opposite to my negative takeaway, or the thing that needs to be improved, is the penalty kill.
Yeah.
You killed. They're not a great power play team this year. But they came in 10 for 31. They left 10 for 33.
Yep.
You've improved to a 565 kill rate, which is much better. Unfortunately, next weekend, I don't see the power play getting a whole lot better, since they're going up against Monterrey with an 818 kill rate.
I don't want to think about it. Nope.
But look, if you can keep them off the board when you're down 5-4, that's a pretty good thing to keep in mind.
Yes. Nope. Like I said, kudos to the defense for stepping up in this one and, doing what they did at even strength and doing what they did when you're on the penalty kill. So definitely great job on the defense.
Let's talk about the final goal there before we move on.
Yeah.
Because that's been hotly contested, to say the least. Would you like to open before I say my part?
Okay. I wasn't sure how you wanted to, if you were going to start or.
I'll let you go before.
So I went back and I watched it. I watched the clip over and over and over and over and over and over and over. One thing I noticed was Fernandez's arm, specifically his right one. It never changed shape. And what I mean by that, it was bent, trying to get a good angle. It was bent like this. I never watched it extend or go back. It stayed just like this. Now it's the opposite arm because it was, technically switch it around because he was, or no, actually it would have been his right arm. It would have been just like, it would have been this one right here because he was pushing from the back. It was a quick little, it was definitely some sort of shove. Did it have much behind it? Absolutely not. Was it embellished? I think so. But his arm, like I said, his arm never extended It was the same position the entire time.
Mm-hmm.
And he did not step forward or anything like that. I didn't see him lean forward. He tried to get the guy out of position. The guy overplayed his hand. Down he went. Ball in the net.
Mm-hmm.
And they still reviewed it. And they still called it a goal. So I don't know what else you want from us.
Still have a strong feeling it's going to end up on this week's under review.
Oh yeah, no, it'll be there for sure. It'll definitely be on there. It'll probably be the first thing they talk about.
I think they save it to last because it's the best.
See, I don't know, because I mean the San Diego Tacoma thing.
I didn't get to catch any of that debacle.
That one, yeah. I mean that was the big topic of the week. So I mean, this was probably the highest the hot topic of the weekend, I felt, because no other game had that like game defining moment like this one did. So it'll be on there regardless. Who cares about when it's going to be on? I'll still watch it.
Yeah. So I am in agreement with you that absolutely, undeniably, there's a bit of a shove.
Yeah.
I didn't pay that much attention to his arm. I watched the defender.
Mm-hmm.
And what I saw was a man get pushed forward. And at a certain point, it looks like he's about to catch himself. And then his arm comes flying up and he goes the rest of the way.
He let himself go.
Yeah. I've already started going. He has his room. Let's see if I can get this foul.
Mm-hmm. And left him wide open.
And yeah, it backfired. Which is shocking because the rest of that game, I thought Florida had come back from the grave and was playing out there. Somebody opened a window, a breeze rolled in, and a Wave player fell down. Time and time again.
I kind of thought you were calling him by the wrong name again, like Baltimore and
Nope.
Harrisburg.
Nope. I thought the Flopics had come back.
Yeah, I mean, there was a lot of calls. There was a lot of fouls. There was embellishment on both sides.
Yes.
I mean, I saw some of ours, like I forget who went down in the box for us. That basically like threw themselves sideways at the person just about.
I think it was Gordy.
I think it was Gordy too, but oh no, he didn't misspeak.
No.
He did not misspeak. Nope.
That delay for chat is fine.
Hey, once you catch up, you'll understand.
Mm-hmm.
It took me a minute too. Don't worry. And they thought I was talking about and
but just again, it's part of the game.
It is.
Sometimes it gets a little obvious.
It's a strategy. It is. It's part of that chess game but
it's never more obvious than when they're watching it on slow-mo in replay.
Yeah. Yeah. Again, I'm always going to play the balancing act with you. Yes, they did a lot of it. We did too.
Mm-hmm.
We did.
But
there was definitely a lot more on one side for sure.
Yeah. The scales weren't quite balanced.
Yeah.
But when you're missing the players that you're missing and you get down 3-0, you got to use every trick in the book, and taking advantage of inexperienced officials is one of those tactics.
It is.
Whether I like it or not.
Yeah. And
as anyone that's listened to the show or watched or been around us at all knows, I really, really dislike it.
You love officiating in the MASL.
I mean the flopping. The flopping.
Oh, well, that too.
I'm very much just tired of it in the sport in general, to the point where, like, give them a yellow. Don't even warn them. Just give them a yellow. And if it happens again, it's a double yellow. Get them out of there. I'm tired of it. boring to watch.
I forget who it was. We were talking to somebody about the fact that, there's certain leagues, like real football leagues, not American football leagues, that, basically if you go down and you're down for X amount of time, then you go out for a while, or if you don't, then you're carded. I mean, same principle, unless they're actually hurt.
Yeah.
Could be applied. If they're flopping around on the ground, just trying to draw attention for the sake of a card or a foul, then I think there should be more punishment to it.
Yeah, we've said it before and we'll say it again. If the guy is down and he's rolling around and making a scene, he's fine. He's faking. Get over it.
Yeah.
Get him right there.
And we're not just saying that. Go ahead.
I was going to say that goes whether it's a Utica guy or anyone else. I'm tired of it.
That's what I was going to say. It's like, doesn't matter if it's Gordy, or because of course we call Gordy out because he's known for it. He really is.
He is.
Whether it's him or anybody else on the team, whether it's anyone on any other team, doesn't matter. It's dumb. It's frustrating to watch.
There were ones yesterday where you could say immediately, like, yep, nope, they're injured, even if it's just they got the wind knocked out of them.
Yeah.
Tim landing on his back. Bennett, when he hit the turf after the blue card penalty from Nelly, laying there, pounding the turf. He's not rolling around. He's in pain. He's not moving more than he needs to. Yep. Willie B with the head injury. You can clearly tell when a player is actually injured. And far too often, you can clearly tell when they're like, hey, they got tackled over there and they're 15 feet to the right, rolling, and still going, trying to get an official's attention. They're fine.
Yeah.
Why are we stopping play to have a trainer come out?
Right.
Trainer comes out, you're out of the game for 2 minutes. Trainer has to check on you a second time, you're out of the game for 5. Trainer comes out to you a third time, you're done. Like, they have to put a cap on this.
I agree. I absolutely agree. But we won't see anything mid-season.
Yeah.
Plain and simple.
And given that the couple of changes we've seen, the best change we've seen is letting the goalkeepers go across midfield whenever they want now. But then we've also seen you can only pass it to them once and not affect any outcome at all overall.
I mean, I know a few people that every time not any goalkeeper goes over the midline, but specifically ours goes over the midline. It's a bit of a heart thumper moment. Gets people nervous when they see that happening. But at least in most cases, I know Andrew at minimum can probably get back in time once he lets that ball go. Never mind.
Yeah.
No, there was one other thing that I did think about that something that needs to change, but I'll wait till we're completely done with this. And then I'm just going to quickly mention it.
That's like, we've gone past the final goal and now we're just down the flopping rabbit hole. So,
okay.
You got to pull us back out.
One other thing to change. Don't play with it in front of our goal. That happened that happened in this game. That happened in the Milwaukee game. We were definitely playing keep away in the second half.
And it happened in Baltimore. And
it happened in Baltimore.
Both of them led to goals.
Yep. But yet again, when I see Nelly dribble it in front of Coughlin, in front of the goal. Yeah.
Unfortunately, that's a side effect of you can only play it to the keeper one time.
Yes, I know. I definitely understand that, and it's just it makes you nervous.
You played, I played outdoor for both of us, and in both cases, like, that was a cardinal sin. Do not play the ball across your own goal face.
Yeah. See, there it is. We're like, that's I hate it every time I see it. Doesn't matter who it is.
Mhm.
You know, I think it was, I want to say it was Frank was playing with it in front of our goal. And that's one of the ones I think led to a goal.
Where he tried to go to heel pass to Alava. Alava wasn't ready
Yep.
for it. And yeah.
There's that one. There's that one in the chat. There it is.
Yep.
Right on cue.
Yeah. And it was even more frustrating because from the camera angle, there was another, I forget who it was, Utica guy open in the opposite corner. Like,
Yes.
okay, you're already in front of the goal. Just play it the rest of the way at that point.
Yeah.
And then have that guy clear it.
Like, I know we don't, it seems like we don't like to clear it away. We do sometimes. I know
Okay.
Nelly definitely is more than happy to clear it away. But I don't think we want to clear. I think most of the time we don't like clearing it away because we want to keep possession.
Mm-hmm.
But I'd rather clear it away and lose possession than have a goal scored right then and there.
Clear it away, reset the defense, and then try to take it where you're not playing with it in such a dangerous area.
Yes. So, yeah, every time it scares me so much.
Mm-hmm.
Anytime we're playing with it in front of the goal. And there will be teams, Milwaukee was one of them, that will take advantage of it every time you do it. Baltimore, they took advantage of it. Like, teams, when they recognize it, will take that opportunity and try and get you to mess up. And then it will go in our goal.
I think that's everything we have to say about this weekend, correct?
I'm just delaying the inevitable here.
What's the inevitable?
They are inevitable.
The toppling of a Titan?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Okay. Listen, that's wishful thinking. That is wishful thinking. I would love to see that happen. I would love to see the David and Goliath story happen.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a very
right, well, let's talk
tall
about
order.
it.
All right, let's
Sunday.
go.
3 p.m. Utica Memorial Auditorium. The unbeaten Monterrey Flash come to Utica. I say unbeaten because they're not perfect. They've gone to overtime a couple times. They don't have the max number of points that they could have.
Correct.
And they're 16-0 though. They sit atop the East. They have 46 points. They have clinched a playoff. They are the only team to beat Chihuahua this season, reigning Ron Newman Cup champions.
Okay. You need to put a little bit more context there. Not only did they beat them 5 times.
I was getting there. 5 out of 5 times that they have played. They have one more matchup. Chihuahua is 9-0 against the rest of the league, including 2 wins over the only 2 team to beat San Diego.
Yep.
And this is probably the last best chance for Monterrey to lose a game of the regular season.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, imagine if they lost to Harrisburg right before us. I know that's crazy to think about, but just think about it for a second. They play Harrisburg right before us.
Mm-hmm.
That would just be the craziest thing to ever happen in my time watching this league. I know it's a very likely thing that's not going to happen, but it would be nuts.
Yeah.
And then it would take the wind right out of our sails and be like, well, crap.
I mean, I don't know what Betfred has them as, but like I would imagine they're 3.5 goal favorites going into Harrisburg, if not more.
Yeah.
Like you said, they play their Friday, then they come to Utica on Sunday.
Mm-hmm. So it's not like they're going to be super tired because they're going to at least have a day to travel and rest. Mm-hmm. So they've got that going for them. They have the ideal kind of schedule that way versus, basically coming from one place to the other overnight.
I mean, talk about goalkeeping. They've got Berna Valdivinos and Christian Hernandez. They've been up so much that even though they've played 16 games, Hernandez has played in 11 of them as the backup. They're each allowing, around 4 goals per game over a full 60 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
Their save rate is 779 and 780. Like it is
Neck and neck
for tops of the league. It's going to be a tough nut to crack.
Yep.
Offensively, they have a ton of fire, like Utica, ton of firepower coming from all over the field. They're led by, I'm probably going to butcher it because I want to say Gennaro, but I know it should be pronounced probably Genaro. Let me double check his bio and see if it says Genaro Castillo. Okay, so I was pretty close.
Yeah.
Then Edgar Gonzalez, Alexis Espinosa, Ismael Rojo, and Jean Ponce. Castillo is at 29 points. He's up near the top of the league in scoring. Let me find the leaders page. Not discipline and suspensions. Bad clicking.
Wow.
20. What?
No, go ahead. Finish what your thought is. Just observations.
Yeah, he's tied for 8th with Frank Tayu for most points. Ahead of them, tied for 4th, is Nilton De Andrade with 31.
Yep.
And Castillo's 15 assists are 3rd best in the league, just ahead of Frank's 14.
And John Ponce's 14 as well.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yes. And you had something you wanted to add? Or say?
I'm just looking at the stat lines here.
Mm-hmm.
I'm literally just been clicking back and forth between Monterrey and Utica on the preview screen. They're pretty similar.
Mm-hmm.
I'm kind of shocked by that. I mean, you look at their top 4 and, 14 goals, 15 goals, 13, and then 2. But John Ponce has a lot of assists. You flip the script, 19, 15, 14, 12, and then 4 with 13 assists for Moendi. I did not expect to see that. I'm not going to lie.
Our top offensive players match up with them pretty well offensively.
Yeah.
Let me go. Now they have the larger goal differential.
Oh, yeah.
Padded in large part by a 17-goal win over the Sidekicks. That helps quite a bit in your goal differential.
Of course.
But even still, they'd have like 23 more goals than Utica if you eliminate that game.
Right.
But offensive, their difference has been defense. Through 16 games, Utica has scored 128 goals. Monterrey has scored 132. Offensively, these teams are very, very close. They are the 2 best offensive teams in the league.
Yeah.
Defensively, Utica leaves some room to be desired, but it has tightened up of late.
Yes, it has. Except for Saturday. Uh-oh.
I mean it from a arena. What's up?
You froze. Really bad.
I froze.
Yes.
Okay.
You were because all I had said, like, we had just basically talked about how the defense had tightened up as of late. And that was the last thing you said. I wasn't sure if you heard anything I said. Because I had basically just said, actually, I don't remember what I said now. Either way, defense had tightened up.
Yeah, defense has tightened up. What I was saying is Utica's best advantage in this game is that it is a home game. And I don't mean that from a home field advantage in the traditional sense. I mean that in a Little league field versus a major league field sense.
It's another Baltimore style field.
Look at Monterey's score lines at home versus the road. Yes, they're undefeated, but they are much, much closer more often on the road. They opened up with a 7-goal and a 17-goal win at home. Then they went on the road for a couple games. 1 goal, 4-goal. That 4-goal was at Chihuahua, another small field.
Yep.
They returned home, 1-goal game, back-to-back games against Chihuahua, 2 days apart. You're going to see a tighter game playing each other that often. A couple weeks later, they go back to Chihuahua, win by 3. 2 days later, they come back to Monterrey, win by 5. They go up to Texas. They win by 1. They come home, they play Kansas City. Right after Kansas City played us. This is the definition of kick them while they're down after losing an overtime home game. A 12-5 and an 8-7. They're at home again. They win by 2 against Chihuahua. Milwaukee goes down there. Milwaukee took them to overtime at Panther Arena.
Mm-hmm.
They get blown out 9-4.
Yep.
Later that week, they go back to Panther Arena to play for the third and final time this season. It goes to overtime, and Monterey escapes with a win again.
Yep.
Tacoma comes to town. They go out to Tacoma. Low scoring, 5 goals to 3 goals. They go to Empire, a team they beat by 7 goals earlier in the year. It's a 4-goal game. Tacoma comes down. Granted, they lose Nick Pereira and a couple other guys for beach soccer and injury. Yep. They get a 9-3 drubbing.
I see where you're going with this.
Mm-hmm. As we've said for a few years, teams that have those 12 home games on the smaller fields have that massive home field advantage, but they end up putting themselves at a disadvantage on the road.
Mm-hmm.
So it's...
And I mean, you also figure... Oh, okay. 2 other things to add to this.
Mm-hmm.
Number 1, they've clinched their spot.
Yes.
How hard are they going to be trying the rest of the season? That's a number. That's one thing.
They haven't clinched home field, though.
True. I'm not saying that they haven't clinched. I'm just saying that they have at least clinched their spot in the playoffs. 100% they are in no matter what happens, pretty much.
Right.
Actually, yeah, no matter what they do. Yeah, they're
and San
in.
Diego are in.
So, do they rest people? Number 2, which I don't think yes, they might. I think they rest people against Harrisburg. Mm-hmm. I don't know if they rest people necessarily against us because we are the number 2 and they want to establish dominance. Mm-hmm. And plus, yeah, but the number 2 thing that I want to bring up is not only are they playing on our field, which is a bigger field, they're also playing in Harrisburg on a bigger field.
Mm-hmm.
So they're already going to have to run a good bit 2 nights before and then have to do it again on a bigger field. So that could be interesting. You bring up a good point. I will give it to you. You definitely do.
Mm-hmm. Hopefully some of the internal things that have been going on now that Everton's back will get cleaned up over this next week. Either way, it should be a tight game on Sunday. If it goes overtime, would not shock me.
You have a lot of confidence.
I'm flying
high. You're evaluating the stat lines as you are the stat man.
I am. If you put this on, I'd have to see what it is on Betfred. But if the line's at 1.5, I'm giving Utica that plus 1.5.
Fair point.
If the line's at plus 0.5, I'm not touching it, and I'm looking at the over-under. This game is a toss-up.
Yeah.
No matter what certain fans from other teams will tell you about Utica.
Fans talk smack about every team in every league.
They do.
We just seem to be the brunt of it in most seasons because, you know, we play a couple of teams a bunch of times,
which isn't our fault, unfortunately.
No.
Yeah, we have fans that show up so we could afford to travel, but the other teams don't, so they have to play us.
Yep.
So, predictions.
I have two numbers in mind.
You do.
Two stat line. Well, not stat lines, but sorry, my dog just got up and moved and then slammed back down on the ground. He was sleeping on a nice orthopedic bed, and then he goes out into the hallway and slaps down on a carpet or a rug.
Mm-hmm. You got two numbers in mind.
Yep. I'm back and forth between.
You got in trouble.
It's going to be a defensive affair. I think it's going to be a 1-goal game. If Utica's defense shows up and our offense can capitalize on their good defense and on their good keepers, it's either going to be a 5-4 or 4-3. I don't know. Don't care if it goes to overtime. It could be an overtime. I want to say it's going to be an overtime win, obviously. I want to be optimistic, but it could also be an overtime loss. It's just going to be a game by one. And it's going to be one of those two, I think.
Okay. So here's a fun little, because you love my stats.
Of course.
Monterrey has played 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 games away from home on bigger turf.
Mm-hmm.
In those, they've scored more than 6 goals one time. They're averaging over 8 goals per game.
Yep.
If Utica's defense plays to the level that they've shown they're capable of these past couple weeks, throw in the big field, throw in the travel, throw in the game 2 days prior, Monterrey shouldn't score more than 4. That is if the defense plays to what they're capable of.
Yes.
I am banking on that because I'm taking Utica 6-4 in regulation.
Ooh, a 2-goal win.
Empty netter against the 6 attacker to finish it.
Wow. That's ballsy.
This is a statement victory that puts the league on notice. Silences the critics. Silences them.
It definitely would.
And then next Monday, we can sit here and, have gone to the grocery store and picked up a cake and just sit here and eat our cake. We don't even have to do a show. It can just be us eating our cake.
No. We have to do a vlog stream. We have to go buy the cake and eat it too.
Mm-hmm. Steve, to your question, do we think Mo will be back on Sunday? To my knowledge, it was a 1-game thing. But I do not know if it will extend beyond that. I can't say what it is. It's that kind of, gray area. Something was said off the record. I just know that he was out. I know the reason for it. I'm not at, where I can say why, and nothing was said on length.
I don't even know. He's filled in more than I am. I have no freaking clue. This is news to me that there was, something going on in the back end. No idea. I can't even weigh in at all.
It's
because
a
I don't
Mo
even know what's
issue.
going on.
That's all I can say.
Mo issues?
No. Hopefully there are no Mo issues come Sunday.
I don't want no Mo issues.
So then we can get Mo assisting Mo goes.
There we go.
Yeah, sometimes things get heated and people do dumb things and you live with it.
Stuff happens.
Stuff happens, yeah.
Politics, that sort of stuff.
Nah, not even politics.
Well, no, I mean just not politics, but just people run their mouths sometimes.
I watched players in other sports miss games because they get upset at themselves and then like punch the ceiling or slam into a water cooler or damage the clubhouse. Anything could happen in the heat of a game.
Agreed. In the heat of... Oh, I'm not going to go there. Not getting copyright. Nope.
Yeah. Too much more we'd have to talk about the song, and I don't feel like it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going 6-4. Alava has stepped it up huge lately.
Oh, yeah.
I don't want this to come across the wrong way, but for a lot of his tenure here, there were games where we didn't even talk about him because he's there. He made a couple plays, but not like ones that make you go, wow, that was an impact that changed this game. And that has changed over the past 6, 7, 8 games.
He has become instrumental to our defense.
Yes.
Whereas,
I think taking him away from the forward position and just letting him focus on his defense has helped monumentally.
Oh, yeah. No, it would be hard to see where our defense would be without him at this point. So then that just speaks to his place that he has made for himself on this team.
Monterrey likes to run. Utica likes to run.
Oh, yeah.
This could, if the defenses are sloppy, this could very easily turn into another 9-8 shootout like we saw with Texas.
Yeah.
But I'm counting on that defense focusing, buckling down, and wanting to go out there and be like, yeah, look, we lost to Baltimore because we rested some players, sent some backups, thought we could get away with it, and we played for our hubris.
Yeah.
We lost at Milwaukee and at Tacoma. We had a couple guys under the weather, and it certainly affected things. Yeah, plus, everyone gets a little shook when you watch a teammate get knocked out during a game.
Yeah, maybe a little bit.
And that game Sunday is the cornhole tournament.
They need to have corn dogs then.
Finals will go on at halftime. Cash prize tournament hosted by Toss Like a Boss CNY. It is double elimination. Entry fee is $80 per team. Comes with a ticket to the game for both partners. There will be 2 divisions, competitive and social. You can sign up through the Scoreholio app on your phone or mobile device by clicking on a link on the MAS or the UticaCityFC.com/promo page.
Nice.
Look at me running promotions for the team, even though they don't pay me.
I was going to say, yeah, just free promotion here, people. But no, yeah, it'll be a good time no matter what. Personally, I enjoy a good game of cornhole, so that'll be fun to watch at halftime.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, more of a hillbilly horseshoes kind of guy, but
they're all fun. They're all outdoor activities that are just fun.
Yeah. Can we bring back the summer from like 2011 when Can Jam, or 2009, 2010 when Can Jam first came out?
Every time my company has our company picnic over the summer, we always have Can Jam, and I'm always at that can jamming every single time. Like,
Guess
that's just what I like doing at the company picnic, is just playing some Can Jam.
Got up the difficulty. My buddies and I were playing in college. We changed it from Can Jam to Man Jam. So instead of you know, 2 teams of 2. You have 4 teams of 2 playing, and you had one guy would throw it, try to get it to their partner, and the other 3 tried to defend it. So you had active defense going on. You could steal points. It got ridiculous. We made our own little game out of it.
I don't know how HR would feel about that. It would get a little, it would get competitive with the people that I know.
Was the great part. I think at one point to change it up, because we were getting a little too competitive that way, we switched it to 2 teams of 4. So you take turns throwing, obviously, you know, player A, B, C, D, but you had 2 guys at each can. So you could like volley it to each other to try to score points as well. Good times.
Good times.
There we go. That's your next. Get rid of the cornhole tournament. Let's have a can jam tournament.
Yeah, I would be in on that.
Yeah, so ride or die, I guess, for us. We're both taking Utica in this one to topple the Flash.
I mean, we haven't really bet against us once this season, and
I did, and it blew up in my face.
Yeah, okay, that's okay. I have not bet against us. I have been pessimistic, but I have not bet against us. So take that.
Yeah, look, they had a week in that one to clean up some miscues like we saw in this past game, and Everton cracked down on the boys and got them whipped into shape, and they came out of that one with an overtime victory at Kansas City. So with the home field advantage and Utica City's 7th man in the crowd, let's make this one a regulation win and get the 3 points.
I would love to see it. I want to see it. Let's get it. Let's do it.
I believe that's everything for us then.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. All right. Well, as always, you know where to find us on social media, Facebook, Instagram. I mean, technically we have Threads, but I always forget to post there because it's not like even though Facebook has the business manager, so I can post to Instagram and Facebook at the same time. For some reason, it doesn't include Threads.
Oh, that's dumb.
We're still on Twitter /X.
It'll always be Twitter to me.
It'll be Twitter. It's one of the few things you're allowed to dead name. Don't dead name people, dead name companies. We got a TeePublic store. Grab some swag from there. Yeah, we got our Kid Dynamite stuff. We got our Mo Money. We got Tim Goldman. We got a whole bunch of stuff up there. I feel like I should bring back some of the former player designs that I let slip.
That would be fun.
They're there. I just kind of put them into, hey, they're not here. Let's archive them. You know, maybe bring back a Shind unit.
Oh. People would still like it. I mean, Schindler was a great piece of this squad for sure. And he's still around. Just he's beating up on our M2 team.
You know, wish I'd been able to come up with something for Joey. A question just came in off of Facebook, according to the Michelle. What is on the Facebook? Tammy wants to know why everyone treats Utica as a lesser team, because everyone else is a loser. Sorry.
I've actually always questioned that myself, because it does kind of feel like everyone just automatically counts Utica out all the time. You know, everybody kind of piles on. Well, okay. Some more so than others, but a lot of people do kind of crap on us a lot.
It's because we have a very vocal fan base that is very proud of our team, and they are jealous losers.
I don't think I have the loser whistle. Loser.
That's the best I got. It's like, you watch our social media and you see Utica getting more interactions than any other team in the league every time.
Mm-hmm. I think it's because we're the young guy. We're the I guess maybe not the youngest team, because obviously we were the Silver Knights before that.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, for a while we were also the youngest team with a rebrand, because Silver Knights to Utica, but then Empire took that because on Ontario to Empire. So technically we're not even the quote unquote new kids on the block anymore.
Yeah.
But that mentality still stays that, Utica's just expected to be just down there. And when we're up here riding the highs, it's a fluke. It's, they're just, there must be a reason why they're up there. They're playing,
Mm-hmm.
These lesser teams. They're winning the games they're supposed to be. I don't know. It's hard to explain, but that's just how I feel like it is. It's just, they count us out all the time, every time.
Yeah, it's that. And I mean, Baltimore, the teams have played each other for a decade plus, and Baltimore has always gotten past Utica in the playoffs.
Yep.
So kind of that little brother, big brother rivalry there.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, at this point, it's what will Kansas City do to keep Baltimore from passing them?
Yeah. But
you could see Baltimore have to travel to Monterrey in the first round, and small field battle. Who those
who
ones
performs best on the small field?
Yeah. I feel like that one will come down to goalkeeping, and got to give it to Monterrey on that one.
Goalkeeping.
All
right. Take us back home now.
Taking
that,
it back.
Michelle has derailed us.
No, it's fine. They commented over on Facebook. We got the answer out, and they have thanked us on Facebook. So
perfect.
Thank you for watching. Yes. What else to say? We mentioned the social media. We mentioned the podcast, or that shows every Monday, 7:00
ish.
Yeah. One of these days we'll get everything figured out so that it starts smoothly.
I will. I'll work on that.
Now that I'm thinking of it, should go to. I just thought of checking something. Did you update the episode panel? So it still says 79 above our heads?
One down.
Below us?
78.
78.
It hasn't changed. It hasn't changed because I didn't know there was new ones.
Yeah, I put them in every week.
I didn't know. I wasn't going to call it out till after. Thanks for... here comes the bus. Here's Matt throwing me underneath it. Thanks.
No, I told you last week. I'm like, the new assets in the drive.
Yeah, I missed that.
And then I was just like, all right, I'll do the same thing this week and we'll be good to go.
Yeah, we're still episode 78.
That is wrong. It's episode 80. You're rapidly approaching 100, which is weird to think about.
Right?
But yeah, that's everything for us, guys. Thank you for watching. We appreciate it.
Definitely.
Love to talk Utica City, and it's more fun having the chat, I will say, than just us two talking back and forth.
Yeah, that's why these end up going longer, because we have people to talk to about it, so it's great. Yeah. No, we appreciate everybody. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching, interacting with us. It makes this a lot of fun. Mm-hmm. Not that I don't have fun talking to Matt, but yeah. I mean, group interaction is always fun.
So until next time, Matt, he's Brandon. Go Utica.
Sogs!
Thank you for listening to the Keeper's Corner podcast on whatever podcast app you use. Please make sure to hit that subscribe button so you never miss an episode. If you'd like to interact with us, you can find us on Facebook, Instagram, Threads, and Twitter or X, whatever you prefer to call it. We have a TeePublic shop where you can get UCFC player swag or help support the podcast. Thank you. We appreciate it. And one last thing. Go Utica City.